Simlitz. I'm from Pamplin, Virginia.
Pull it back with your
Beverly Hills, Florida. Okay. I love the hillbillies there. Okay. I have 180. See what?
Cindy Hard from St. Louis, Missouri.
Wow. Go ahead, next. Oh, you. Joe, what is that? Joe, you're in. Joe, how about you? Okay, take off. Let me see where you're from. Maxine, you're next. Fight down.
Well, pay attention. Be careful.
We just want to quick about where everybody's from. Go ahead.
Judy Newkirk, Delaware.
Hi, Judy. Next thing.
New Hampshire.
Okay. Karen, we know where you're from.
Tamara, Texas, you all. Karen from Shelton. Never. Rhonda McNacky from Shelton.
Diane?
Oh, Diane Romick Karwowski. I'm from Marlborough, Mass.
Leslie St. Clair, Delaware, Rehoboth Beach.
Nice.
Nancy Florida,
Over here? Oh, way over here, one room. Go ahead.
Beth Elkin, Safety Harbor, Florida.
Okay.
Stephanie Toad Lindley, Monroe. My husband's back with Tom Lindley.
Oh, you're Tom. I want to meet you. Yes.
Don Josco, South Dakota.
South Dakota.
Alan Ballard, Thompson Bay.
Get up, Maggie.
Parker Espinosa, Florida.
Florida.
Penelope Baldwin representing Dover, Connecticut.
Okay.
Janice Holden, Naples, Florida.
Naples. Okay. And about Karen. Hi, Karen.
Once a member, always a member.
Exactly.
I'm Piper. I'm a senior. I'm Alexandra. I'm a senior too. So this is the
Oh my gosh. Huh, I remember being in this room.
700 people. I was a member here a week ago for musical honesty. We do all school plays and all school musical here in the fall and the spring. Over here we have our teachers.
Hi, teacher. And Everett.
Sorry, I missed. Don't dig as quickly.
Yes, our graduation was indoors. It was supposed to be outdoors, but the weather was bad
That's
that
correct.
day.
I remember that.
Yeah. So we had practices outdoors, but when the actual day came, we had to have our graduation indoors. And then they had some, because there weren't enough seats inside, they actually televised it in the cafeteria for the overflow of the graduation.
Oh, well right now there's a volleyball practice going on. We can come here and watch through these doors. Yep. They do conditioning during the summer so they can make each other do season.
So the gym looks like that. I'm sure it's different.
Was it the same gym or was it something else?
I think it was something else.
Over here.
There we go. Okay.
Let's not go inside here for the stray volleyballs. But if like you see over there, we also have another gym back there.
Right.
You have it too?
There were two gyms. One was a lot smaller.
Yeah. The auxiliary gym. The
Yeah.
smaller one's the west one. And cheerleading. Yeah. Well, now we can go to the smoking lounge apparently.
Yeah, it was not my favorite place.
Yeah.
It smelled a lot of smoke.
The vaping lounge is the
And
best.
typically, I'd sit out there and have a cigarette with one of my teachers.
Yeah.
'Cause they'd be out there.
Yep.
My first teaching job, I was able to smoke too. Actually, I smoked.
Oh.
I was an auto shop teacher. We smoked outside.
And we had a radio station off of the commons.
Really?
Yeah, it was not a real radio station that broadcast to other places, but it broadcast in the commons.
Very much the same.
That's the cafeteria. This is it's called the senior lounge. This is where the seniors eat lunch, and that's where the underclassmen.
But today's gonna be this year's gonna be different. Probably because there's a big freshman class coming up, so you have to share it. If we don't get enough names. But it has changed a lot because now we have vending machines when you come in.
This was outdoors before.
Yeah, this was
Yes, it was. That's right.
one of the smoking lounges, because there were two. Well, it was on either side of the common.
Yeah, on the side of the commons over
But that
there.
was the one that was the more popular smoking lounge. But we also had vending machines. So if people didn't want to have lunch, they could go to vending machines and get some food.
Typically, how many lunchways?
There's there used to be 4, but now
We
yeah.
have a whole schedule too. It's not the same as
Yeah. Well, now we can go to the media center. Right this way.
One of my favorite places.
I feel like the media center has probably changed a lot. Yeah. Usually we had a staircase before, but now we took it out.
Really?
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Got it.
Thank you. Definitely change both of them.
People go to the media center now. That's allowed. So over here we also have the cafeteria.
This is for the underclassmen.
Yeah, the underclassmen.
See, these were doors to different storage areas where it's been bricked up. And one of those towards the middle was like the closet that they had changed into WTHS. And they put in turntables and things and set up a speaker system so we could broadcast music into the commons area. And so different people
That's
joined
awesome.
the WTHS club, and you had your shift, so if you had study hall period, you could work in there and you could play music. And I remember on the last day of school, I wasn't quite supposed to do it, but I wound up playing a little Alice Cooper. Can you guess what I played? You're probably too young. School's out. School's out for some really rather loud.
I wish we could do that now.
Before we go outside, you guys want to look at one of the classrooms? There's one of the business classrooms and health classrooms.
Yeah.
I think we've all had a class.
I had Miss Moon.
Yeah, I miss it. You can all come in, sit down. You can take pictures if you want as well. It's a little fail because you just have to put all the stuff up there. Yeah. Do you guys use smartboards?
No.
Smartboards have been around for about 15 years.
Yeah.
Every class has one of these.
There's no such thing as a smart board.
Oh,
Yeah,
these
we
are
have the
also
best
the
tour
lockers
guide.
we
Take your
had
time.
locker.
We're enjoying it.
They're the same, but they just were painted.
Did you guys use your lockers a lot when you were?
Absolutely.
We don't use them.
But our lockers were either red, blue, or orange, depending on the house we were in.
Oh.
Because I was in B house, and B house was blue. So everything in B house was blue, and everything in A house was red, and everything in C house was orange. And so you knew which house you were in by looking around the locker. So, you know, it was hard to get lost.
Now they're just their school colors.
Yeah.
Your school colors were still black and gold then, right?
Still black and gold, but not our lockers. It was like black and gold was the unifying color for the house, or for the whole school, but each house had its own color.
Oh, that's nice. Good question. What was was there a freshman joke when you guys were here?
Senior break.
Prank.
No, freshman joke. Sometimes sometimes what they do with the freshmen over here is that they tell them that there's a third floor in a pool. Everyone's trying to get out.
I recall
That's done
something
in
in that nature.
Shelton too, but actually,
Shelton too.
we did not have the freshmen in this building
Oh,
back
no.
then.
Yeah.
Initially, this school only had 3 grades.
Yeah.
Oh, where would the freshmen go?
They went to either
Hillcrest.
Madison
Junior
or
high.
Hillcrest.
Yeah, they were either in Middlebrook or Hillcrest.
There's another group.
Yeah. Yeah, so we were the senior high, and we were actually the second class to graduate from this school. So we entered as juniors, and there were sophomores that came in, and there were seniors that were here, but there were no freshmen until much later when the population got a little smaller. I guess they expanded the school.
Yeah.
Did you all go to Hillcrest as well?
I went to Middlebrook, but when I went to Middlebrook, it wasn't on Madison Avenue.
Oh, yeah, everyone would move. Well, Middlebrook is an elementary school now.
Yeah, and then everything has changed. It was Middlebrook Junior High.
We still have 2 Middlebrook. Where you see the windows, that's on the 2nd floor.
Yeah.
That's where you have the teacher department, math department, science department, all the.
Yes, I used to always be over there. That was where world languages were.
I think it's
Now it's
still
over there.
No, really?
What language did you take?
Yeah, that looks like it.
Yeah.
There's actually a little model Eiffel Tower.
Right place, the right time.
And now over there, there's a student support services, there's social securities, and social workers. There were social workers, and a lot of mental health resources now. Did you guys have that when you were here?
There was some through the guidance office. It definitely wasn't as much because I think people have started to realize that teens need a lot more support than we used to recognize. But we did have up on the 2nd floor, there was an area where there was something called a math lab, where math students who were particularly good at kind of helping their peers worked. And so you could go there if you weren't doing really well in math, and there'd be some students who were good in math, and they would be sitting at a table, and you could go there and get some help with your homework, or
That's
if you didn't.
B19 now. We call it
Well,
B19.
B19, those are teachers though, but we still have peer tutoring, but they just do that in the regular.
Yeah. Now this was like during study hall, so people could go during.
Nice.
You could volunteer during study hall to do that, and then, people could come, if it was their free time, they could go there and they could get a little bit of help from a peer.
I was amazed. I went down there.
Well, right now, this is all we can have for the library.
We're all out on the 2nd floor.
Basically.
Oh, see, we were all on the
down
2nd floor too.
Yeah.
I mean, there were the teachers' offices, but,
Computers.
and the windows weren't as high. I mean, we had the glass partition up to the first part, but above that, it wasn't.
It was all open, and there was a staircase in the library. At the
The spiral staircase?
Yes.
Yep.
Well, now we can go to Emily.
Absolutely.
All right, let's go back up. Over there.
This was actually the staircase where the egg was.
Yeah, the previous one. Yes, I just threw it up and just fall down. Well, we can go up this way, or if you guys want to go along this
You
way,
could go
come
up
down.
the doors are probably locked.
Yeah.
You could go up.
Here we have some of the new classes they offer this year. There's forensics, astrology,
See, I take that.
anatomy, physiology.
So I'm weird enough to join them.
Astrology or astronomy?
We have both. No, wait. Yeah, not astrology.
He's an astronomer.
Now, you want to see like a senior elective when I was there?
Yeah.
Author search. We got to read everything of a favorite author and put together almost like a skit at the end of the class, behaving like the author.
Oh. Okay, this way. Over here we have A house. We have most of our math classes over here. And it's basically ranged from A house is mostly math, B house is mostly English, and then C house is social studies.
And then we have
Upstairs, I had my history classes. Or sometimes some of the classes will take advercise, they go up to the advercise building. Yeah. Oh, we also have a program called Aqua, which is another science program where kids go which for by the sound and stuff like that.
Yeah, my son was in that.
Yeah. Here we have the A-house office. Now we can go to M1, which for culinary.
All the arts, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, my favorite part of the school.
Oh, we have wood texture.
Yeah, we have wood ceramics. We have metal working.
That's good. See what it means? That was my teaching area.
Oh, really? We have a electronics.
I student taught here too.
Yeah.
There's actually a
Came back
really
from
nice.
Central Connecticut student taught.
There's actually a really nice computer lab with all Macs.
Yeah, that's very nice. The metal shop actually is nice.
Yeah, that's
I think they have a.
Mr. Maggi used to teach that.
They also teach guitar there. You have the band room. You guys know about the famous Trumbull High marching band?
Oh, yes.
It was an amazing parade.
Yeah. So what terrible thing did you say about the principal?
Oh, yeah, our chorus room is open.
Okay.
Yay.
We have our teacher for the chorus room, Mr. Wasco. I had him in freshman year.
Okay, the
He's very
entrance
nice.
used to be down that hall, right?
Yeah.
Does anyone know how to play the piano? No? Okay.
And this actually used to be part of the auditorium.
Yeah.
Our class actually has some pretty famous musicians.
Really?
Well, Franco Farina is an opera singer, and he has sung at the Met, and he sings in Europe. Kevin Perrone wasn't in our class, but he was in our concert choir, and he's played in New York. He had quite a career. Now he's in Indiana, and he teaches at a university there.
Well, that's very nice. Did anyone go on Broadway by any chance?
1993.
I think there have been, yeah, I think Jeff Stoner has done some things on Broadway.
Yeah.
I can't swear to it, but you know, we've had some pretty amazing people in our class.
And then this is the culinary room. Let's see if you guys can go in. Yep, this is Chef Boyd's next door. Yeah.
This was the entrance to the music.
Yeah.
Okay, and there were practice rooms over in here.
Yeah, this isn't where I had all that.
Over here we have everything. All the kids and things.
I've never taken a class here.
I wanted to work on my little brain life. This is special. I want to go back to school.
That was the band.
That's all. They get vitamins from the schools here and stuff. We learn to go work. So they should go into
Wasn't this the band room?
Well, the band room was choir practice.
The vineyard's up front now.
Yeah.
And then this area here was the music office.
Right.
We can actually go up this way. But we wouldn't want to take a bite, so we can try to go up.
Oh, wow.
Darn.
Might have started using a lathe.
Oh, and here we have the auto shop. If you look inside, you can see the cars that the students
It's
work on.
still an auto shop?
Yes.
How did that ever happen?
Stores, they usually open during Christmas hours, around Christmas, or during Mother's Day. They also have a nice Mother's Day shop. That's actually pretty cool because these are the kids who are with special needs. So they come in, they help them for real life first, and then when they go out to be an adult, they can go out and get a job and have some experience.
I taught a section.
They sell books, they have these cocoa for like $1, great.
Yeah.
Yeah, they sell Bath and Body Works items, cheaper than Bath and Body Works. So that's something.
That's nice.
When I
And
took
we can
wood
go
shop, I
down
was the
this
only
way.
girl in my class. So I was like, good.
My sister still has her little bookcase she made in Trumbull
Yeah,
High
I
School.
made a.
So around over here,
I still
we
have
have
There
the
you go.
ceramics room all the way down there.
Oh yeah, the old room's so cool. Oh, this is grand.
Who's in fashion play?
I used to be in it, not anymore.
They do any drafting here as well? They used to. Drafting is architectural drawing or
Oh yeah.
CAD.
Architecture now, I think Vocational.
No, my bonus is just
No, he has an architecture class.
no.
Yeah, does he?
Yeah,
That's another.
archaeology.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh, we don't have an architecture class.
no, we know. Well, we can go this way, and you guys have any questions or anything you would like to see in the school?
Other than the second floor, which we can't.
And also, I want to look at some of the artwork. All this is well, most of it has been done by students.
We also like in the middle of the year we have a little art. It's like
gallery.
yeah, art gallery. It's at the front
all
of the
the
school. There's the glass windows. And they're really good. They show art from all grades, kindergarten to 12th grade.
That would be the spot.
Over here we have a workshop.
Oh, let me look at
We have workshop over here. I had some friends who took the class. They made like some stools.
Yep, I took the class.
There we
Really
go.
cool.
Oh, nice.
We had some. All the machinery was pretty new, not very old.
Do you have a fair number of girls take some of these classes?
When I took it, I was the only girl in the class. But I do know more will take it than I used to.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, 1973.
I took electronics. That was the only
5 or
class.
6 tech ed teachers. 5 or 6.
We had
We had electronics with Mr. Pacific.
Yeah, I had
He
him.
was a good guy. He was.
He was a hoot.
Mr. Bridgeport. He'd go
Yeah.
like this, flip his bicep,
And trumpet play.
and trumpet play. I'm trying to think of the architecture teacher, because he taught drive road too. I had him drive red. And then he had Mr. Sotheby, who taught drafting. And I'm trying to think, Mr. Dixon taught metals. Who was thinking? Oh, I can still see his face, but I can't remember his name, the shop teacher. And then Mr. Detar was the automotive, who I student taught with.
So do you guys have a robotics team? Or?
Yeah. They went to nationals last year, right? They went to nationals.
I think they work with the metal shop people.
I'm not sure, but
No, yeah, they probably do. Probably
That would
work in
make
concert,
sense.
I would think so. There's a lot of fabrication.
We have one metal shop teacher and one workshop teacher. I'm not sure who teaches in the auto shop.
Part-timer, I think, as I remember.
I know for the auto shop you need to take like 2 years of like metal shop or something to get into it.
Prerequisite.
Well, we can go out this way, and we can go down our band room.
Okay.
And over here we have a ceramics room.
Okay, that is maybe electricity and electronics. Front half of this room is in electricity lab. lecture back in the 70s. He's still in the area.
Pacific?
No, that was Ed Montalino.
Oh, yes, I remember him, yes.
And he's
Where did she
actually
try this?
a member of the ham radio club in Stratford and so forth. Also a railroad club. And he's sitting at the back after this.
I remember now. Yeah, they split it.
So over here we got the ovens. Some of the ceramic is that we're keeping over there.
You were some very lucky students. I taught a lot of schools. I haven't seen as much for yourself.
And our whole day I very much come high off of so many different collectives. Yeah. They even offer Yukon courses. Did they have that?
Yes.
They did?
Yeah, I took some youth courses.
Nice. They also
And I was actually able to enter college as a sophomore because of the Yukon courses.
Really? That's cool.
Yeah.
Wow. We don't have that many Yukon courses, but we have AP. We have 2.
Well, I was able to combine the AP with the Yukon courses,
Yeah.
so they let me in as a sophomore. I was never a college freshman. So behind there, do you have like a sound booth or?
That's the control room on the other side here, and it's a semi-professional control board. So, and they used to do announcements. They used to record announcements with the AV Club. I know that they're starting up some more video production classes, and during, again, the Honor Society, the Social Studies Honor Society, we work with because when we have municipal elections, we go live from the studio and they announce all the results, and we pretty much beat all the other outlets because we have students at all of the polling locations calling in with information. Yeah, so and they also do a whole get out the vote effort, so we work with them to get those pieces on the air. And then, like I said, we do the live returns show, so the kids will call in the results, we'll compile those and audit them, and we had pretty much, the adults ran the cameras and the control board, but the kids pretty much, and under Mrs. Boland's supervision, pretty much ran the content, which was awesome. We kind of turned the whole studio over to the kids and let the students shine. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Amazing.
So we'll be doing that again this year.
Yay.
Yay!
I'm thinking this used to be the art fair.
Yeah? Where was it installed? The main office is right about that, so. The main office.
We're lucky because at least all the nurses, I think all of them, they worked in actual hospitals before they came here, so
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah.
We got all the trophies over here that they have won. Yeah, oh, there it is.
That's a gigantic
That is the
trophy.
biggest one that they won. I don't know. I believe it goes
When the classes start.
Tuesday.
Because I didn't go get us 6th grade. They sent me this in the 7th. Well, I don't already
Yeah, they usually start down south about August 8th. Nothing about it. It was the first one in the area when we came in that had air conditioning.
Yeah, I think this school and Frenchtown are the only ones with air
Frenchtown's the old one.
Correct, yeah.
They're newer.
Frenchtown was made like 20 years ago. We already have Mr. Doyle's office. This is the Associate Dean's office. You come in if you have a complaint or anything, you go to him.
Or if you were bad, you also come to him. We love Mr. Doyle. He used to be an English teacher.
The best English teacher.
The best English teacher. Love him. And then he was promoted to assistant.
We were new when Hillcrest Middle School was new. We were able to go there. When this school was new, we were able to go here. We had so many opportunities, and we actually weren't aware of it at the time. But I mean, we had music, we had art, we had all these different. It was really quite a blessing to be able to, to do all kinds of extracurriculars and the beginning of advanced placement, and they were right on top of things here. I'm very grateful for the education we got here.
Well, as the class of 73, our class did come in here when the school first opened. In fact, it wasn't even quite finished. And it really was a Taj Mahal. But it's a larger Taj Mahal now. We didn't have the outside hall that we've seen, but everything else kind of looks like what we had, only bigger. I didn't take auto shop, but I remember there was an auto shop, and I remember there was a car in it. But now it looks like a Firestone station. And I remember there were places to go to learn about cooking and about other things, and now it's just all fantastically upgraded. So it's pretty impressive. This is a heck of a facility. And it was fun seeing it again.
It was a lot of fun to come here today, 50 years later, and everybody was noticing all the old people walking around, so that was pretty exciting. Front has totally changed, but remember sitting in this auditorium and towards the back row, so sometimes you could leave it, sometimes you couldn't, but it's nice to see what they're doing for the girls' sports here, because when we went here 50 years ago, there really wasn't any competitive sports for women. So I think that was the biggest change. And I think it's so important, and I thought that was very exciting.
Well, again, I'm Tom Gallo. I didn't move that far from here. I moved like around the corner, but it's been quite an experience. That's why putting this tour together, I said everybody's got to see Trumbull High 50 years later. It's so impressionable, and it really made a difference. So my 17-year-olds, what I would think when I was graduating here, no one ever would think that we could come back. But at that time, see, Trumbull High was new then, so we just took advantage of it. We took it for granted, I should say. But now you come back and you see how everything is elevated. When the auditorium was here, now it's there, and the amount of classes that they have, and the kids have so much to offer. We were saying during the tour, but that day there were no hookups to get your cell phone. There was no cell phone. Nobody had cell phones, and we're just like, we're in our glory being at this tour. It was really good. Just to have everybody come together for one afternoon and to prelude of the real reunion coming tomorrow. But it's so great. I thank Trumbull community for filming this. It makes a world of difference, and something that you remember. Of course, a lot of teachers aren't around anymore, but you remember where you were. And I said, oh, look at the circular staircase. Some of those are still the same, cold and damp a little bit, but the auditorium was the biggest thing that amazed me is what they did. So I'm just happy to be here, and God bless Trumbull, and people have come home to roost. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Lindley. I'm a graduate of Trumbull High School from 1973. Happy to be here on this tour. It's well attended. We have, I think, over 50 people. We're very excited. There were a lot of questions, a lot of fond memories. For me, as a cheerleader, one of my fond memories are obviously my cheerleading friends. I have my best friend who was a cheerleader, and we are very close. She was my maid of honor. I was her maid of honor. So that is really great. And our friend came down from Maine. He's best friends with my husband, and speaking of my husband, we are high school sweethearts, and we've been married for 46 years. So we have a lot of fun memories of this area. We live in Monroe now, and we're raising our daughter there, but it's been really fun to be here and to see some really great people. And I'm going to say just about everybody looks the same. You can pick out who they are. We are looking forward to our dinner reunion tomorrow night, and I think everything is going really great, and I hope that the classes after us will be able to do something like this too. Thank you.
Well, in 1973, we had prom, and where you have your auditorium now, there was a outside sitting area, and we filled it up with water. We built a pagoda in the center of it, and we released geese because our theme was a Japanese garden. And then when you went into the main gym, we had our dancing area, and the band was in a tea house that we built. And then when you went into the auxiliary gym, it was landscaped like a Japanese garden, and that's where you took your pictures. That's 1973.
And you guys built that yourselves?
Yes, I was the chair of the building committee.
That sounds pretty fantastic.
It was. My girlfriend came out from South Dakota. We met in a convention in Chicago, and she came out and she was my date, and then I ended up marrying her.
That's awesome. That's a great story.
I married my homeroom sweetheart. We were married for 48 years, and we lived in Trumbull. Our two children graduated Trumbull High School, and I do have to say that I have to say thank you to the educational system in Trumbull. I had some great teachers. I was going to quit school as a junior, and I had two great teachers, Mary Curtis and Ms. Hugh Ripper, who kept me in school and then got me onto UConn. So teachers do make a big difference, and Trumbull did a great job.
My best memory was Mrs. Rich was my typing teacher, my business teacher, and she taught me so much that helped me in my job and my career. And I worked for 42 years in a job that she helped me accomplish. I made my best friend, Beverly Potter, who is standing next to me, and we have been friends since high school, many years. I have lots of memories with a lot of friends in this school.
I enjoyed my high school years here. I got a good education. I was involved in dramatics. I was involved in sports. Did pretty well in school, and I miss it, to be honest with you. So I had a lot of good memories here. A few good friends, which I'm looking forward to seeing tomorrow.
I think Trumbull High really prepared me very well for everything that I did afterward. I took Spanish in the Trumbull public school system, and when I went through the school system, they actually started teaching Spanish or French starting in 4th grade. So by the time I got to Trumbull High, I was already able to speak Spanish pretty well, and I wound up in my senior year taking an independent study in Spanish because my Spanish class interfered with a concert choir class. So they let me do Spanish on my own, and I did quite well. And then after that, I went to college. I wound up being admitted as a sophomore. I never had a freshman year in college because my college looked at the agreement that we had with the University of Connecticut for the classes that we had and my AP test scores and my SAT scores, and they said, oh, you don't need to do freshman classes. So I came in as a sophomore, spent my junior year in Madrid, Spain, came back and finished my senior year, and it's really all based on the strength of the fabulous education that I had at Trumbull High. It was amazing, and everybody was just so surprised. And when I went to Spain, I mean, I got off the plane and I could communicate with everybody. I had no problem. All my classes were in Spanish and just no difficulties whatsoever. So I really thank the public school system here in Trumbull for that.
Yeah, so my story with Trumbull High School is that I was first generation to go to college, and my parents really didn't direct me in any specific ways, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And it was getting close to graduation, and one of the counselors dragged me into her office and asked me, well, what are you going to do? And I said, I don't know. So we started talking, and she's like, well, what are you doing now? And I think I must have mentioned that I do landscaping. She said, oh, you like to be outside? I said, yeah, I guess so. She said, well, what about forestry? And this is like what I can remember from that meeting. And I said, forestry? She said, yeah, you could go to forestry school and be outdoors. And I was like, oh, okay. And so I think she just led me to Paul Smith's College up in the Adirondacks. And so I went there and I discovered the outdoors in a big way, like skiing and snowshoeing and backpacking and camping and just sleeping out in the snow and all of that good stuff. And it changed the trajectory of my life. I became a Forest Service seasonal, and I went out to Utah State to also go to school for forestry and art. And then I was a seasonal with the Forest Service, and I was a seasonal for like 10 years. I took seasonal jobs, I moved around, I did fun stuff in the winter, like taking care of a ranch, working at rec centers, anything that was in the area. But I went west, loved it, and worked my way north, and I wound up in Southeast Alaska, and I said, this is the place I'm going to stay. It had everything, mountains, the ocean, yeah. So I've been in Southeast since '85 and just love it. So yeah, I can't remember which guidance counselor it was, but it was very meaningful, and like I said, changed my life in a perfect direction. Met my husband fighting wildfires back in '87, which up to that point was the biggest fire year to date. And of course, that has been far surpassed every year since, but that's exciting. So yeah, we got married and have a couple girls, and that's the happy story, starting in Trumbull High School.